Did you know that the United States doesn't elect a president based on who gets the most votes? Instead, we use the Electoral College system to elect our president. You might wonder what the Electoral College is. Well, let us explain.
The Electoral College was a concern in the last part of the debate with Trump and Hillary. We've had two presidents in the last 16 years that have won the election but not won the popular vote. Hillary's votes in the popular vote led by 2.8 million, which begs the question, why didn't she win, and what will happen with future elections?
The Electoral College is the system in which we use to elect our president. This system has been used to elect every single president of the United States since the adoption of the U.S. Constitution. How it works is each state has a certain amount of representatives in Congress. This is how the points for the Electoral College are decided. So each state is worth a certain amount of points based on how many representatives they have, which means candidates are actually winning over the majority of states to get the state's points. This system was created because the delegates from the first Constitutional Congress decided Congress shouldn't have complete power to elect, but neither should the general public. They believed if they used the popular vote, which is just using who got the most votes, then the region with the biggest population will have a persuasion on the election. Also, the candidates would only have to advertise in the big states to win. But using the Electoral College, even the small states are able to swing the tide of the election.
Lots of people have complained and said that the Electoral College was unfair to the people and candidates. The Electoral College is confusing and can be dissuading to the voters. This is because the Electoral College has so many steps, so the voters may feel that their votes don't really matter. Smaller states tend to have more power in the Electoral College. One vote does not equal one voter. For example, in the state of California, one electoral vote equals 705,454 votes, while in Wyoming, one electoral vote equals 194,717 votes. This illustrates that less populated states actually have more overall influence on national elections. It is the reason we see presidential candidates win the popular vote but not the Electoral College.
The Electoral College is not completely flawed, though. In fact, there are many benefits to the Electoral College system, such as giving the small states a voice. If the election was changed to the popular vote scheme, then candidates would often just focus on the bigger states with a higher population. Plus, the Founding Fathers created it this way because they thought it would be best for electing a president.
The terrible thing the Electoral College does is it throws away millions of people's votes every presidential election. This is due to the winner-takes-all aspect of the Electoral College. Certain states every year are swing states, which means they are pretty evenly split between candidates. These states are usually quite close when it comes to who gets the most points. The only states that don't use this winner-takes-all system are Maine and Nebraska. They use the congressional district method where points are distributed based on the votes of districts and not the whole state.
This winner-take-all system that is the Electoral College is really unfair. Let's take an example. If 2 million people voted in the state of Florida for one candidate, and then 2 million voted for another, there's still millions of people voting for each candidate. But then one person votes for one of the candidates, and all 2 million people that voted for one candidate, their votes pretty much don't matter, because that one person outweighed all of them, and all the points go to the candidate that got the 2001 vote. This system is what we're willing to change.
Many people believe that the Electoral College is undemocratic. Many people also believe the points don't clearly represent a state's population. One example is the state of Hawaii that has 1.42 million people getting 4 votes. Yet Oregon, which has a population of 3.97 million people, but Oregon only has 7 points. This is one flaw in the point distribution of the Electoral College. And this is what we want to change, point distribution.
We're trying to abolish the Electoral College, but it does need lots of modification and work. We propose that the government should change the winner-takes-all aspect to an evenly amount of points distributed by the percentages in swing states. We say that if it is in 5% favor of one candidate more than the other, like 43% to 57%, then points are split evenly based on the amount. If this state has 7 votes, and then 3 would go to the 43%, and 4 would go to the 57%, because it is greater. If it is exactly even and the points are not even, then 1 point will be taken off and added to the winner of the next swing state score. If there are no more swing states, then the extra point is erased. This means an exact tie is possible, but is 99% unlikely. And if it does happen, then the candidate who wins the popular vote wins, and at least the other guy can probably be president next time.
We believe the best course of action would be to split electoral votes in swing states that are 5% or closer between candidates. If the number of votes are uneven, then we will split it closest to the even number, and the leftover point will go to the winner and next swing state. This way, people's votes aren't wasted, and the system will balance power between small states and larger states.
In conclusion, we don't want to demolish the Electoral College, and using the popular vote isn't a great option. We want to modify the current system so that instead of having small states votes matter immensely and having a winner-takes-all basis, we want to have split points in less than 5% of different states. This will help our elections be much more fair. This is one way that we can improve our system, and we can still improve it moving on.